All right, we got unit 1, lesson 5. Like we said at the beginning of this unit, geometry is a lot of vocabulary. So let's dig into some of this vocab, okay? Complementary angles. Complementary angles mean that the two angles add up to 180 degrees. So, 90 degrees. The sum is equal to 90 degrees. So if you remember, okay, that box shows that it's a right angle. So that's like saying angle 1 plus angle 2 equals 90 degrees. And again, just to be correct, I should have said the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 equals 90 degrees. So sometimes they're going to be together and shown with a right angle. Sometimes they may be apart, like these ones, okay? But again, if there were numbers in there, if it was 30 and 60, you would do 30 plus 60 is still going to equal 90. So very similar to complementary angles is supplementary angles, except the difference on this one is that they add up to 180 degrees. So again, 180 degrees is kind of like a straight line. So if I had a picture, it might look something like this. So I could say, hey, this is angle 1, and this is angle 2. You don't need those. Oops. Fix that. Call this 1, call this 2. So I would say the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 equals 180 degrees. And so again, sometimes there will be numbers, sometimes there will be X's or unknowns, and we might have to solve that. But again, we can use, if it says that it's supplementary or it says that it equals 180 degrees, that's information we can use. So linear pairs are a type of supplementary angles. So linear pairs are always going to add up to 180 degrees. Now you might say that's the exact same thing as supplementary. So linear pairs are supplementary, but not all supplementary angles are linear pairs. We could have had an angle that looked like this. Okay, here's angle 1. And then we could have had something that looked like this. And this could have been angle 2. Okay? So again, sometimes supplementary angles are linear pairs, but they don't have to be, because again, they have to be connected. So this is an example of a linear pair because they share a vertex. Okay? They share this point in common. Vertical angles are congruent. Vertical angles are congruent. I want you to pause this video and say that 10 times. Vertical angles are congruent. So what does that mean? That means that angle 2 is the exact same angle as angle 4. Okay? They share a vertex and they cross each other. Oh, bummer. Angle 2, angle 4. Which also means if angle 2 and angle 4 are congruent, angle 1 and angle 3 are also going to be congruent. Vertical angles are congruent. So let's look at this. Angle RAF, I'm going to highlight that. Start at R, go to A, and then go to F. And RAT, let's get a different color. RAT are complementary. Complementary means add up to 90 degrees. Find the measure of each angle. So if I know that the green angle, RAF, and the yellow angle, RAT, add up to 90 degrees, I'm going to take these values and plug them into an equation that's going to equal 90 degrees. So for little angle plus little angle equals big angle. Okay, you'll hear me say that a bunch. Little angle plus little angle equals big angle. Now this time we actually have two pairs of like terms, right? I've got m's and I also have constants, which are just plain old numbers, no variables. So 4m plus 3m is 7m. 5 take away 20, 5 subtract 20 is negative 15, or subtract 15. Now, this looks just like an equation from algebra. All right, so let's see here. If I make a left side and a right side, 7m subtract 15. Again, SADMAP, PEMDAS backwards. Do all subtraction and addition first. Well, the opposite of subtracting 15 is adding 15. So 7m equals 105. And now 7 times n, what's the opposite of 7 times m? Well, you better divide by 7. And because equations are balanced, anytime I divide by 7 on the left side, I better divide by 7 on the right side. And I'm actually going to get, this cancels out, m equals 15. Is that my answer? Nope, because it said find the measure of each angle. So we're going to take this and we're going to plug it in here, and we're going to plug it in here. So 4 times 15 plus 5. 15, 30, 45, 60. 60 plus 5 is 65. So the measure of angle RAF is 65 degrees. And we've got one more to do. Let's take a look. 3m subtract 20. So 3 times 15 subtract 20. 15, 30, 45 minus 20 equals 25. So the measure of angle RAT, rat. The measure of angle rat. Now let's double check our work. I said that little angle plus little angle equals big angle, and we know that the big angle is 90. 65 plus 25 does in fact equal 90, so we know we did it correctly. So again, linear pair, that's the key word. We know that linear pairs add to 180 degrees. The sum is 180 degrees. So let's take this one. We don't know a whole lot. We know 5x and we know x. So 5x plus x, little angle, plus little angle equals big angle. Combine like terms, 6x equals 180. The only thing left to do is to divide by 6. And let's see here, 18 divided by 6 is 3. So 180 divided by 6 is 30. Okay, so x equals 30. Again, that's not my answer because I got to plug this in. Okay, so I know that this angle is going to be 150 and this angle's 30. And yes, in fact, 150 plus 30 equals 180. Find the values of x and y. So vertical angles are congruent. That means that this angle is the same as this angle. However, I've got a y and I have an x. We do not like it when we have two different variables. It makes it really, really hard to answer. But let's look at this one. I know that this angle is 9x plus 20. If it's vertical down here, it has to be the same thing. So I could call this 9x plus 20, okay? So let's set these two equal to each other and figure out what x is. If they're congruent, they're going to be exactly the same. Pause on that. So again, if we did that, again, we're going to subtract. We're going to end up getting 0 equals 0. That's not that helpful, okay? So let's look at it a different way. Besides looking at vertical angles, what about if we said something about linear pairs? Because I see that, hey, this is a straight line, and I know that this angle plus this angle has to equal 180 degrees. So I'm going to take my little angle plus my other little angle, and it's going to equal 180 degrees. 9x plus 7x is 16x. I still have 20. Haven't done anything with that 20 yet. Subtract 20, subtract 20. 16x equals 160 degrees. Now, if I have only 16x and my goal is to get x by itself, I better divide the left side by 16 and divide the right side by 16. Therefore, x equals 10. Now again, I'm very close. I found x. I have not found y yet. So let's look at this. Let's plug in x for what we know, because again, here's the y. So remember, vertical angles are congruent, which means this angle is the same as this angle. So we're going to plug this in, and we're going to say, hey, 7 times 10 is 70. So I know that this angle is 70 degrees, which means this angle also has to be 70 degrees. So 2y equals 70. To get y by itself, I'm going to divide by 2, and y equals 35. So y is 35. Y is 35. It's not degrees. It's just 35. And x is 10.